Over the last few years, a particular genre has kind of exploded, which is the isekai genre in the anime. And if you're a long time watcher of anime, for several years you would have noticed up until now that the growth of the isekai genre with Death March, In Another World, My Smartphone, all different animes that I'd like to cover have decided to kind of explode onto the scene and have also produced different isekai animes that are still rolling out to this day, and the ones that are even still getting mangas, light novels, stuff like this. And in particular today I wanted to talk about a anime called Trapped in a Dating Sim. The world of Otome Games is tough for mobs, and the reason why I wanted to talk about it is because, like Komi-san, like the other animes I mentioned, like Spy X Family, this anime yet again provides and shows how simple a show can be and yet how good it can be, because Otome Game doesn't just make up for what may be lost in source material in the anime, but the general art style of the anime is genuinely top notch, and I don't think you could probably get better because of the networking company that makes the animations for the animes um, did not give that much of a budget to the anime in general, and because of this we didn't really get to see much cut stuff that was supposed to be in the anime. So a lot of things, whilst they never felt rushed, there is missing pieces. It's kind of like a jigsaw puzzle with the anime where there is missing pieces to it, and it still needs to develop. But do you know what? For what we did get, it's really good. And I would like to say that first off, I know that there is a lot of talk about a lot of isekai and that lot having the typical boring MC, like a Kirito clone and stuff like that, or a Shido clone from Data Live. But whilst this MC looks like Kirito and Shido from Data Live and Sword Art Online, he definitely has a wild personality, and I love it because he's someone that doesn't care. He just does what he wants and he lives by his own rules. And you can see it throughout the anime when Angelica and Olivia become close to him, because he is genuinely just a unique character. He isn't a pushover. He isn't someone that just lets other people uh, annoy him and get on his back for no reason. What he does, he fights for what he believes and he wants more. And he's just genuinely, he reminds me of an anti-hero. And for some reason, I've always been someone who takes a look at anti-heroes and goes, yeah, I like the look of them. And Leon is definitely an anti-hero. He's not so evil to the point where like he's gonna become the most evil bastard in the anime, but he's not too nice to the fact that he's gonna just gift stuff away for free. He's kind of like in the middle of the road, and I think that's what makes him so great, because he's so unpredictable. It's the same with Angelica as well, a girl that was obviously in love with one of the princes and unfortunately had her love rejected, and she eventually fell in love with Leon. And same with Olivia, who was originally supposed to be the reverse harem protagonist, but obviously with the introduction of Leon, she kind of fell in love with him instead of the other guys that were supposed to originally be around her. And I think, do you know what? Ultimately, Leon, Angelica, and Olivia, whilst they don't have the best contrasting personalities, they definitely do fit. And I think the personalities, they fit really well. And I mean, Angelica is like the tough and broody yet strong and high and mighty type of girl, and then you have the Olivia, who is very soft, very gentle, and is very kind to who she talks to. And in that sense, you have Leon as well. Leon is as I said, a anti-hero, someone who only does what he wants to do, and you can kind of see that with how the girls kind of gravitate towards him and they fall in love with him, and they love him for who he is, because he isn't like the prince, he isn't like the queens, he isn't like the guards that see him around, he isn't like the students that roam the academy that they go to. he is just himself, and you can see that even the Queen, Mylene, falls in love with him a little bit, and I think that's brilliant because obviously I do like the way the character's written. Mylene, she's very high and mighty, and you can see she's a bit older, and she was a great addition as well. I'd like to see her in the show a little bit more if it ever got continued, but that is obviously just down to the people who network this and release it. On a final touch note, I'd like to talk about the fact that how, again, the anime style, the art style is very similar to the manga if you've ever read it. And whilst I haven't, when I watched the anime about 2 weeks ago, before making this obviously, quite a while ago, I had looked into the light novel and the manga to see if it had any extra details that I could have a look at and make my own judgment with, and the art style is very similar. So the networking broadcasters to release this and get it spot on is brilliant. And yeah, I mean, like, you don't get much better than this, and I think whilst a lot of people would say, yeah, you do get better than this, you know, you can do way better than this. You look at the Sword Art Online animes, look at that, look at this, look at this, look at that. I would say to them, Otome Game is so good in my opinion because it does what it does best. It doesn't try to overdo itself, which is similar to all the animes I've reviewed, you know. And I think what makes it great and what makes it stand out is that you can just genuinely sit down and enjoy it. You know, you don't have to get too invested, you don't have to get too emotional, you don't have to get too angry when a character dies. It's very stable, and you need these type of animes to get enjoyment out of, because there are a lot of animes out there that are quite dark, or they're too action packed, stuff like that, and it doesn't always work. And I believe that Otome Game, just like Komi-san, just like Data Live, just like Masamune-kun, they all fit into the same sort of category where they're just fun. They have moments of action, they have moments of comedy, they have action moments of different types of actions, you know, not just action as in the genre, but like maybe there's a kissing scene, maybe there's a romance scene, maybe there's a scene where they fall out of friendship and stuff like that, and maybe there's a revenge scene, stuff like that. And I think that is what makes Otome Game fit into that mold. And if I was rating this on a tier list, I'd probably give it a C or a B. You can't really put it much higher because there isn't a second season, and the animes that I'm thinking of that would be an A and S would probably have to be really good, obviously, for one, and they would need another season. And I don't believe that Otome Game will get another season because for some reason people dislike Otome Game. I don't really get it personally. I respect the opinion that people don't like it, but I think Otome Game should come back for another season. And yeah, this has been why I really like Otome Game and the anime, and even the manga, the light novel, whichever one, because ultimately it is just a middle of the road anime that does so well at what it does that it's perfect, you know. And ultimately that's all you want, you know. You've got to have these animes because it makes other animes like a One Punch Man stand out from the rest. So yeah, please let me know what you think, and yeah, like and subscribe, and yeah, peace.